let's just have a little look at some of the key players on both sides. We have to start with, well, the best Ryder Cup player in recent memory, Ian Poulter. He has an 80% winning record, JP. He's won 8 out of 10 times he's turned up for a Ryder Cup match. Truly incredible when you think of the standard of the opponents he's facing. But he was the miracle man at Medina, the catalyst that inspired that comeback. So often he's been the best player on Europe's side, but his form this year has been poor, even by Poulter's standard. Not a prolific winner on tour, but really has struggled this year. Do you see that affecting him, or will he be able to once again dig deep and raise his game for Gleneagles?
Well, I think traditionally when you look at players who've come into the Ryder Cup having had some personal issues or having had some form issues, Lee Westwood notably, Darren Clarke notably, they have been able to transcend those problems, and the adrenaline and the event and the ability for those great players to once again really bring themselves up a level has been evident. So I see no reason why Poulter can't summon some of those thoughts and some of that passion that he had before, and elevate his game again further.
When we look at the Americans, the name of Keegan Bradley from Medina obviously stands out. So effective with that partnership with Phil Mickelson, JP, in 2 years ago, and someone that can bring that Poulter-type energy and really interact with the crowd, get them fired up. I know the Americans are away this time, but you need that in the team, don't you? You need that energy.
Yeah, I mean, Keegan, I think, said some things, really a very, very competitive human being, really wants to crush his opponents when he's out there on the golf course, and that's something that any team is going to feed off. They're going to thrive in being around a guy like that, and he does. He really drums up the crowd. He's fist pumping. He's really enjoying the moment. So it's great to watch that whenever the emotion really starts to kick in. And I think in Jordan Spieth we've seen someone fairly emotionless. It'll be interesting to see how he gets on with it and all. And on the European team, when you look at how emotional Rory gets, and of course we mentioned Ian Poulter, I think we're in for a fun-filled 3 days.
Fun-filled, absolutely, but also pressure-packed. They say there is no pressure in golf quite like Ryder Cup pressure, and it's always interesting, JP, to see how the rookies respond to that. 3 on each side. For Europe, we have Victor Dubuisson, who made the final of the Accenture World Match Play. We have a local lad, Stephen Gallagher, a wildcard pick of Paul McGinley, and we also have the Welshman, a winner in Abu Dhabi, Jamie Donaldson. How do you see the Ryder Cup panning out for those 3 guys? Victor Dubuisson, obviously an accomplished match player, and Stephen Gallagher is going to have the majority of the crowd support.
Absolutely. Victor Dubuisson, I think we're all waiting for him to jump. We think that there's a player who might be able to jump to another level, and he's kind of quick with his golf swing, and even his short game mechanics are kind of quick. So it'll be interesting to see how he reacts to the pressure. I think in Stephen Gallagher and in Jamie Donaldson, we've got 2 very accomplished ball strikers. They both hit their irons very well. They're very straight off the tee. Jamie's certainly come through some back issues in the early part of his career, and he's now one of the better players on the European Tour. When you look at the coverage, he's there every single week. Gallagher's been a great ball striker for a number of years. Traditionally had some putting issues, which he seems to have put behind him. But those 3 players are very strong, and I see them having no problem with the format.
Indeed, 3 interesting American rookies to talk about as well. Firstly, a student of Butch Harmon, Jimmy Walker, a prolific winner earlier in the season, a long-time leader of the FedEx Cup, but perhaps his game's just tailed off slightly. We also have the young phenom Jordan Spieth, who did so well at Augusta, as you'll remember, earlier this year. What a great season he's had. And we have the ever-confident Patrick Reed, the man who won the WGC Cadillac Championship at Doral earlier this year and declared himself a top 5 player in the world. He's actually ranked outside the top 20, so we're not quite sure that that's materialized just yet, but exciting from the American point of view, those 3 rookies?
Yeah, Jimmy Walker's very, very strong. Butch speaks very, very highly of him. Very gifted ball striker, much longer than probably people give him credit for. And I think anybody who's playing Jimmy Walker is going to have a match on his hands. Patrick Reed, somewhat similar in some ways to Dubuisson. There's a few rough edges around about his technique. He's done a lot of things in the game that obviously he thought that were going to really transcend him to another level. But I do think that he's somebody who can play very well under the circumstances. And Jordan Spieth, we see somebody 21 years old, out there playing every week under extraordinary pressure. pressure with an incredible maturity and a situational awareness that I'm not sure whether his game's going to really suit the Ryder Cup. He seems to play with a lot of maturity. So he's going to have to change things up. Maybe a good foursomes partner for somebody. But again, 3 players who will, I'm sure, put up a great fight against the European side.